Yeah, Gabe Bast, probably not as severe as what we thought it was. Today we're going to just have an off-ice workout. Tomorrow we're going to get on the ice for practice. Obviously we have 2 weeks here before our next game, and we'll probably know more tomorrow. Obviously through practice here with Gavin, we're going to be a little bit more precautionary there. He's going to get an X-ray, I think, here today to try to get more conclusive information of where he's at, and then we'll go from there. So. With Basti, probably he'll be available for sure. Probably Denver, and with Hayne, we got to see just a little bit more here. So,
how would that change your team if Hayne's out?
Next man up mentality. We've been doing all year here. We mix and match some lines. When he went out of the lineup and when Gabe went out of the lineup, and we have some very good players that can fit that role. And I know Smitty and Sendo, obviously are big players on that line, and so is Hayner. But at the same time, we've got some guys that have that mentality that can fill that if Gavin Hayne cannot play. If he can play, then obviously back to status quo. But I think it's just basically, I think the strength of our team, offensively and defensively, is the depth of our team, and we've got good depth this year.
How about Kierstead? Is there a chance?
Yeah, he'll play for sure. Yeah, he'll be. I think it was one of those things this weekend where we went, for precautionary steps, for the long-term side of the season versus short-term. That obviously, if it was playoffs, he'd probably play this past weekend, but knowing that it's a chance to get him fully healthy and he'll be ready to go.
But you're going outside Wednesday. What's the upside of that? Is there a downside?
Well, the upside is, it's team building. It's something that we've did year after year, except for last year because of the weather, how severe it was. But it's something that's a tradition that guys look forward to, that you can build it into your time, as we prepare for Denver. Next week is game week, and I'm not saying this week isn't game week because we have to keep our foot on the gas and build. But I don't see really a downside. If the weather's too severe, you obviously get a chance of illness and different things, and that's why we didn't do it last year. This year, I think our guys will be smart about it, and guys look forward to it, and I think there's more positive than negative of doing it.
How are your goaltenders handling this new playing time dynamic, and what conversations are you having with them to keep them focused and engaged?
Well, just like the rest of our team, foot on the gas. Obviously it's a situation, and I've been watching Denver video too. They have Corona playing the last 2 Fridays, and then they have Cooley playing the last 2 Saturdays. So they've been platooning here a little bit too. And for us, it's Peter right now has waited and he's got an opportunity. He's made the most of it, and his message for him is keeping his foot on the gas and preparing these next 2 weeks and not losing focus or not getting complacent, as well as our team. But with Adam Shield, it's about, this is a chance to reset and build and get the details of his game going, which he has the last week here. It's a matter of Peter that's feeling it right now and has momentum, and Adam's just got to make sure that the details of his game get stronger and stronger as the week goes on. And again, it's funny how a year goes, but the things change from day to day, and it's not given on any day what the lineup is.
Whose game does Kawaguchi's game remind you of right now?
Yeah, you know what? I think a little bit of Drake Caggiula. I think obviously Drake Caggiula, a little bit different type of player, but Drake had a really good shot. He had really good edges. Kawaguchi has really good edges. When he's on his game, he plays with pace, and he's a tough guy to defend because he can cut back, he can make plays, and again, he's got that playmaking ability. So I would say probably a little bit like Drake Caggiula.
What's the biggest area of growth that you've seen of Jordan's game from last year to this year?
Probably just the overall game. Everybody looks at the offensive side of it, but I think he's very good defensively too. He's playing his offside, and pucks on the wall in the defensive zone. He makes good plays to get a puck out when he needs to, or make a play on a breakout to get it out. And everybody looks at the offensive side, which he's second, almost first in the country in points. He's second, but I look at his defensive game of knowing that he's very responsible, and that whole line is actually, and the way he's become a two-way player, 200-foot player. And again, probably the last thing of the pace of his game. He looks like a quicker player now, more so now than he ever has over his first 2 years.
Does he look like a Hobey Baker winner to you?
Absolutely, 100%. Hobey Baker winners emulate a lot of things. They have to be good players, obviously, on the ice. They have to be outstanding people off the ice, character people. but the leadership side has to be a key component. And you know, he's turned into he's wearing a letter for us, and he's, you know, when we're chasing games, he's a big part of the guy on the bench saying the right things. You know, when you showed the video clip of Patrick Mahomes today, when they're down 10 points on the bench talking to their guys about believing and trusting and everybody doing their job, that's Jordan Kawaguchi, and that's what Hobie Baker winners do.
What's the toughest part about playing on your offside like Jordan's doing?
Well, I think mostly on the defensive side or the D zone side of it. You know, when pucks are coming around the wall, you gotta corral a puck, you know, on your offside. You know, getting a puck on your backhand, getting it to your forehand, trying to make a play. But conversely, it's great on the offensive side, coming through the neutral zone, entering zones. You can cut to the middle a little bit more. You're presenting your stick a little bit more on the offensive side, coming into the zone for a one-timer. So I think just the challenges become playing in a defensive zone on your offhand, trying to control pucks and breaking out pucks. But again, just like I told you, I think he's been doing a very good job of that, you know, in those situations.
What is line defensively? And I know they've got real good plus minuses, and a couple of those guys maybe weren't real good defensively as freshmen.
Well, I think it starts in the offensive zone. You know, when you look at plus minus, everybody thinks it's, you know, God, you got to be good in the defensive zone, and you have to. You absolutely have to. You have to have the details. You have to have the hardness. You have to, you know, have the team first mentality. But I think it starts in the offensive zone. When you got players that are totally offensive, sometimes they just think of the offensive side of it and they don't come back. And I think the biggest thing with those guys, all three of them pour back. You know, when I look at Collin Adams, you know, he's high up in the plus minus, but I think he's one of our best trackers coming through the neutral zone, coming back for back pressure. And so is Kawaguchi. And you know what? Grant Mismash, not so much his first 2 years. He's starting to come back, you know, hard through the neutral zone too. So, you know, being good defensive players or plus minus players are helping out your defense and your goaltenders coming back, you know, from the offensive zone through the neutral zone.
Cole Smith's game has really progressed this season. How do you view his potential prospects to play at the next level?
Well, I'll answer the first question, or that question, the first part right away here. You know, he doesn't waste a minute. He doesn't waste any day of his life on trying to get better on and off the ice. You know, he's a driver. He doesn't say a whole lot, you know, as far as the vocal side of it, even though he's wearing a letter and a captain. He lets his actions speak on the ice and in the weight room and in the classroom. And he's a guy that just goes hard every single shift. And then as far as his recuperating time on the bench, it doesn't take him long to get back to where he needs to go to get back on the ice again. So he's a guy you can trust and throw out there a lot. He makes everybody else better. You know, everybody talks about Weston Machad and a few of our leaders that push the bar. He pushes the bar for our group here too, on accountability and how to get better every day. And then answering the second part of the question, it would be probably, you know, he just has to keep building his resume and his body of work to prove to people that he can play at the highest level. And we as a staff here absolutely think he can do that. So again, like I said, I think it's one of those things he's got to keep building his body of work. You know, we got to keep winning as a team, and he's a big part of that.